Hey, this is your host Anthony Dinar and your co-host Brandon Hayes.
Hello.
And today we're looking at some pre-recorded footage of me playing Doom, the new one for 2016. I gotta say this game looks fucking awesome.
Yeah, even with the recording quality we have here, it's only 720 with 30 frames per second. It still looks amazing.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, and we didn't even, I don't know, there was other ways that we could get, expanded color, and we're recording it on standard or whatever. So, it still looks amazing, even though what you're seeing right now, the capture device didn't quite get everything, because it takes us a long time to make this footage.
Yeah, because the computer that we actually record on is, ancient.
Well, yeah, it's kind of old, and I don't know, it's just a pretty intense game. I mean, there's a lot of information here.
Oh yeah, when we're playing this on the PS4, you can hear that machine just whirling and trying so hard to stay alive.
I've never heard the PlayStation 4 make so much noise playing a game. It's enduring some torture, definitely.
Yeah,
a demonic invasion in progress on the screen. That's fucking great.
Yeah, aside from the graphics, another thing that I love about this game is it gets right into it.
Yes.
Doom 3 took forever to get started. This is just like the original Doom. As soon as you hit start, you're going. You're killing things, you get your suit, and you're gone. The adventure starts.
Absolutely. And there's no flashlight bullshit. It's not dark. They did... dare I say, everything right in this game.
Yeah, I have a few, minor, nitpicky, stupid things, but they're totally, who cares?
Yeah.
I'll bring those up a little bit later.
Are we just, I don't know, responding to Doom 64 being so bad and Doom 3 being so bad, or is this generally a good game?
Well, I said in the Doom 3 review that, this thing is a decent game, but
right.
It could have been better. Looking back on it now after this, I kind of sort of hate it.
Yeah.
Because it's just so dull. You're going through the same crappy corridors. Everything looks the same. In this game, you get to hell at level 6, which in the last one it was
6.5 hours of gameplay, level 16 or 20 or whatever.
Yeah, it took forever to get to hell in Doom 3. This, you're there, and then you go back to the facility, and then you're going back to hell. You're kind of jumping back and forth.
Right.
And you would think, well, you guys complained that you were in the facility too much in Doom 3. In this, the art assets are so drastically different. At one time in the facility, you're in, the power core. Another part of the facility, you're in the CPU cooling station.
Right.
Everything looks so different that it's hard to get bored because you're constantly seeing new stuff. And you're also seeing a bunch of demons and shit that weren't in Doom 3.
Oh yeah, definitely. And some of the demons are so big, they're not able to be in a hallway smaller than this. And this hallway's, right now, the biggest hallway compared to Doom 3.
Yeah. Most of the time you're in rooms like this that are just wide open spaces, and that's fucking great.
Yeah.
It's definitely, there was this claustrophobic feel to Doom 3 that it feels even more so now after playing that. I could never play Doom 3 again.
Yeah, me too. And that's exactly why I'm we were just going to do Doom 64. And if you want to check out that video, go to torturevision.com. You can see our list under the game reviews tab. But I'm you know what? This is the last time I'm ever going to pick up Doom 3, I bet. Unless, the new Doom just sucks so fucking hard. So let's give it a roll. And you were well, we're kind of pressed for time. You kind of sprung us out last minute. And are you sure you want to do this? It's been a fucking Doom marathon in this house for 2 solid weeks.
Yeah. And we definitely ended on a high note.
Yes.
Because this game was fucking fantastic from start to finish. I said, if I had to complain about anything, one, I don't really like the music. And
I love it.
I know you like it.
It's like Trent Reznor, Nine Inch Nails up the ass. It's fantastic.
But there were moments when it kind of sounded like noise.
Yeah.
And I know that's the idea behind it, but like it was too distracting. We did turn it down at a certain point.
Right. Well, it was too loud in comparison to like hearing the people, and I know you can mess with the options a little bit, but I was just too into the game, and it kind of took me out. But
that was going to be another complaint of mine, is that the voices are usually too quiet. So if you wanted to listen to the story, you got to really like juggle that volume.
Right.
Like, hey, they're talking. We better crank this up.
Right.
And then, they're done talking. Now we're just going to hear demon noise.
Yeah.
Responsibility for the horrible events of the last 24 hours, but you must understand. Our interest in their world was purely for the betterment of mankind.
Oh yeah, the better.
Everything has clearly gotten out of hand now, yes. But it was worth the risk.
So that guy who's talking is like a robot. And that's all we're going to show you of the first level, because I'm sure everyone's going to flood YouTube with the same shit. So I wanted to make sure that I showed you some very basic things. You saw me in that like tomb. See, here's hell. Like, I wanted to make sure that I got to show you quite a bit of what was going on in the game.
Yeah, and this is the first moment where you go to hell. Like, later on, you come back, and it looks different from this.
Yeah, it does. It does. But you were talking about the music, and there's that quote that Trent Reznor says, something about how like noise is strangely somewhat musical. You know, I
whatever. You know what? It's distracting when I'm trying to listen to shit and I hear this like grinding gears.
Yeah,
it stops being music to me and it becomes annoying.
Yeah,
like I like Trent Reznor and Nine Inch Nails. I like that kind of shit. I grew up with that music.
Right.
But here it annoyed me.
And so if you go in the settings, you can affect the music and the sound effects, and
yeah, like most games.
Yeah, but like the talking is also connected to the music. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, but
I don't think it's under the sound effects, because I remember changing it and still not being satisfied on being able to hear them and like have enough, like a good balance. I don't know. Again, we're fucking splitting cunt hairs here, but that is one thing that we could complain about. That, and also the sound effects that the zombie or the demons make, they always sound like they're right on fucking top of you. The game doesn't do very good compared to other games where like you can gauge how close they are to you compared to like what you're hearing. I think they kind of failed on that.
Yeah, so that was going to be my other complaint. It's just, it all equates to sound. The sound was off to me in this.
Yeah.
And maybe it's better if you got like a really nice surround sound system or something.
Oh yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah, we don't have, like, we weren't playing it on anything great. We just got like regular computer speakers, you know?
Right. But I hate, and this is just movies too, I hate having to like crank up the volume when someone's talking, and then when there's action or something, crank it all the way down.
Yeah.
And that was a major issue in this game, but I could deal with it.
Yeah,
and the
society has adopted that for whatever dumb reason.
Yeah, but the reason I find it so irritating sometimes is when I want to hear the story. Like,
right.
And that's a good thing, I guess, because like this was like Doom doesn't need a really complex story, but this was interesting.
Yeah, it was a good story, I thought. Yeah, definitely. That doctor with that robot voice is a robot. I don't really know his origins. I really don't care. But like, he represents this board, and the board hired this woman who kind of is the villain in the game. She's like, you know, this is going to make the world a better place, essentially, bringing hell on Earth. And the board is like, no, like, we're gonna use hell and tap into some like unlimited energy resource.
In the simplest, just to make this story as simple as possible, because it is kind of long and whatever, they're using it as like a nuclear power plant, sort of.
Yeah.
Except when this one goes awry, it's 10,000 times worse than Chernobyl. You can just think of it that way. Another thing
it's a great analogy.
Another thing I really love about this game is these fatalities, or whatever you want to call them, the glory kills.
Yeah.
You would think that they would get kind of boring over time, but they didn't, at least not to me.
No, they didn't get boring. They change up a little bit. It depends on what angle you're at, so you got to see different glory killing. But you also like had the added benefit that every time you did a glory killing, you got life. So they always dropped at least a little bit of life every time you did that, which was awesome.
Yeah, it kind of became mandatory in certain moments.
Definitely.
Like, I gotta kill this guy a special way because I need health really bad.
Yeah, so you pick the weakest guy around, and that's kind of counterintuitive, right? Like, if you got a horde going after you, go after like the guy who's the strongest, but you need that health, and so it kind of like forced you to weigh your challenges. It's like, well, I'm gonna go after these little guys so I can get some life, and then I'll go after the bigger guys. Even though, like, you know, I'm sure this game got a lot of flack, but you don't get that auto-generate thing with the life. And I'm glad they did it this way. This isn't fucking Call of Duty. I thought that this was a fantastic way to integrate the life meter in the game. It was
Meanwhile,
great.
did you notice that you checkpoint reached again? Right up in the top corner. It didn't pause the gameplay. It's like a normal fucking game. This isn't like Doom 3.
Yeah, Doom 3 got that totally wrong. They were the only ones who ever had that fucking pause shit. Yeah. I love the keys. Like, here's the yellow key card for the door.
Yeah, there's so much good stuff about this game. I don't... You know, and it's a good thing, too. Like, when I see something like this and I fall in love with it, it's kind of like, I don't know, reassures me somehow. Like, you see, like, I mean, I know you're an old man and you're cranky and stuff, but, like, you can still be capable of liking stuff. You don't hate everything.
Yeah, I definitely recommend that everyone pick this up. This is fantastic. And this is just campaign mode. There's a whole online section that we haven't even touched yet. I've dabbled a little bit into the level creator. That looks fucking great. We're gonna touch on that in like a future episode. Maybe I'll make something and have you play it. I think that'd be a lot of fun. And it's not just a simple thing. This isn't just a Mario Maker. Like, the level creator is really complicated in a good way. So
it's
I look forward to
complicated,
that.
but it's easy to use, if
Right.
that makes any sense.
It's only complicated in the sense that it gives you a lot of options, which in that regard, who can rightfully like complain, right? So
Another cool thing is, like, when you play campaign mode, there's certain little secrets and Easter eggs and stuff that you can pick up.
oh yeah.
And one of the things is you can find classic maps.
Yeah.
So you can play the old shitty pixelated looking maps, but with new character models.
Yeah, for all you pussies who are like, I hate the new Doom. It's nothing like old Doom. It's like, okay, you know what? Fine. Here's your old Doom, you big baby. And you got, like, all of the bad guys are in the good graphics. And your gun is, like, the gun from this.
But it's totally not the same because there's so
not.
many fundamental differences. It's all it is just a skin difference, but it's the same gameplay. So if you don't like this gameplay, you're not going to like those classic maps.
Yeah, fuck those people. No, I'm just joking. I'm just being extra hard because, like, I really enjoyed this. This was a fantastic play. I beat it even. This was something that I just couldn't put down.
Yeah, it was. Again, there was so much that we didn't capture just because it takes our computer forever to render it. Like, this video itself, like, how long did it take to render
Like
this video?
4 hours.
Yeah,
or
something ridiculous.
Yeah, so, like, if you want to donate, we can buy a new computer. Go to torturevision.com, go to the donate button.
Yeah, no one's doing that.
But yeah, it does take a long time, so that's kind of unfortunate. I'm going to play around with the PlayStation 4. That's what I'm playing this on right now. And they got, like, a capture feature to that, but you can only capture like 15 minutes at a time. That's something that I'm going to look into to, I don't know, maybe gather a few more bits and pieces here and there. But it's definitely, like I said, I'm going to revisit this in the future. We're going to look at some of the map maker stuff. So
people are like, you've done so much Doom, just no, don't revisit.
Leave it alone, yeah. I'm sick of Doom.
And I say to the one person who watches this and is complaining, shut up. I wrote down a couple notes just so I wouldn't forget some things.
Oh, cool. What do you got?
I like that you have a helmet in this game, which is like something that you had in every game except for Doom 3, and it never really played into Doom 1 and 2 from what I remember. But, I mean, it was just in the art, you know, on the cover and shit. But in this, you have a helmet, which means you can breathe outside when you're on the Martian surface, so there's no collecting oxygen.
Yeah, that collecting oxygen tanks was fucking annoying. You could only be outside for, seconds before it depleted. It wasn't like, I don't know, measure it in the minutes at least. Fuck that, don't measure it all. What am I talking about? But yeah, you're outside. Breathing isn't a problem. It should be all about the gameplay. Fuck if it's too dark and you need a flashlight, fine, I guess, maybe, but like the fact that it had to be turned off all the time, like I hate that. The oxygen thing, I just want to play.
There are no moments where, there are a couple moments where it gets pretty dark and it was by design, but it's never like pitch black, and we don't even have the brightness cranked up all the way on this.
Yeah, it's really low.
And it's really nice. Like, it starts off maybe default a little bit too dark.
Yeah, it
but
does.
Easily fixed in the options.
Yes.
So that was great. I like the upgrades to the weapons and the rune system. Like, typically when I'm playing a first-person shooter, I don't want to have to, like, level up my character, essentially.
Yeah.
But this was done really well. Like, the gun things, like I said, upgrading your weapons. It's just, like, you gotta find a little robot, and you beat the shit out of it.
You steal what it's got.
Yeah. Steal its insides, and beat the crap out of it, and then you've upgraded your weapon. Very simple to do, and it's not overly complicated. And then the rune system is like you can give yourself special abilities by doing challenges. Every once in a while you find these rune stones, you do a little challenge where they ask you to do something like, kill 15 imps within a certain time frame.
Right. And none of them were too hard. I mean, some of them I had to play a few times, but that's the point of a challenge. But I got to do every single one I found.
Plus, they took you to really cool-looking environments, too, like little mini-maps. Yep. So, like, you're just constantly seeing new stuff. I can't stress that enough. Like, the maps look so fucking good. And
I was really amazed when you were in the map editor. There was pieces that you were playing with that weren't even in the game. That's fucking unheard of. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's insane. And we complained about Doom 3 not having enough of that, like, demonic influence in the levels.
Yeah.
Like, you're in a boring old facility, and every once in a while you see some blood smeared on the wall or something, but it's no big deal. In this, it's just night and day. Like, there are just corpses everywhere.
Shrines everywhere.
Sometimes shrines made of corpses. There's little, like, altars and stuff, like you'll see sacrificial altars and just like ritual chambers. Like, there's so much
pentagrams
great stuff.
And it's amazing. It really is.
And it's so gory too. And I kind of wish, like, like back in the day, remember when the government got all upset and they're like, oh my god, Mortal Kombat and Night Trap are ruining children's minds. It's like, I kind of wish they could see something like this. They would just, like, shit themselves in fear and die of a heart attack.
Oh, that's awesome. That was, like, perfect timing, too. There wasn't one part in this game playing the entire thing where I was like, oh man, I kind of wish that was on tape. Oh man, I kind of wish that was on tape, because It was all fantastic. There wasn't a single level that I hated.
Yeah, and like Bethesda was a part of this, and like they're the ones who do like Fallout and shit.
Yeah, yeah.
And
which I'm a fan of. I know you don't really care for it.
Yeah, but what are those games most known for by critics is like bugs up the ass.
Yeah, super glitchy. Yeah.
This was really flawless. Every once in a while, we caught a bug.
Yeah,
but
like a demon after he died, he's all doing the hula dance with his legs and stuff. Like, what the fuck was that? That was kind of cool.
It was a little bit of weird shit here and there. Very rare. Totally within the acceptable limits. And it was nothing that was game-breaking at all.
Yeah.
So, like, that was a big plus. God, what else can I say about this?
We got to see a lot of the bad guys that we all like were accustomed to. I know we mentioned that earlier, but I just want to I can't stress it enough. Like, just want to bring it up one more time. Like, we got to see them all in this, and that was neat.
Yeah, I don't know why you didn't see everything in Doom 3.
I don't know, were they pressed for time and just lazy? Like, he's standing on me.
See, like, I guess you could maybe say that was kind of sort of a glitch.
Yeah.
But that's pressing it, you know?
Yeah, you're kind of pushing the definition of glitch there.
Yeah, and that's totally acceptable. It was like a little problem and it's worked itself out.
Yeah.
But, okay, so I guess like a purist could make a complaint here about this. I can maybe kind of see someone not liking this if they like the original Doom. They kind of changed the fundamental way certain weapons worked, like the chainsaw. Before, the chainsaw was like, hey, if you run out of bullets, this is like your only line of defense is this chainsaw.
Right.
In this game, it's like you barely get to use it. You find fuel sparingly, and when you do have it, like, you got to use it strategically, because every time you kill a demon with the chainsaw, it spits out a bunch of bullets.
Yeah.
So you need to use the chainsaw only when you're running low on ammo.
Right, which is the same reason why you would use the chainsaw on the other one, but for an entirely different reason. And that's
it's a whole new
because
mechanic.
You're not going to punch anyone, like, that's not even a weapon. It's like the equivalent to the knife in Wolfenstein. You need something, right? And the chainsaw was that something. But in this, it's like, oh, you're out of ammo. Use the chainsaw and let's fill up everything you got. And depending on who you use the chainsaw on, it took more gas. And so right now, underneath the little weapon icon in the bottom right corner, there's no red bars. When I have full gas, it's all red. And if I use it on like a stupid little imp, it's gonna take maybe 1 bar, and it's gonna fill up my ammo. If I use it on like a big fat guy, or like a really strong not boss, but a strong enemy, it's gonna take everything I got. And if I don't have enough gas, it's not gonna let me even hurt him with it. So it's kind of neat. I mean, I wanted to use it on the strongest guys possible, just because 1, I didn't want to fight them. 2, it was just cooler to see.
Yeah.
And I wanted to record that, so I could see how people would complain about it, but I thought it was cool.
On the same line of complaint, if you even want to call it a complaint, I'm not, but I can see how other people would. Is the BFG, like before you? I mean, you kind of had to work hard to get it, and you had to work for the ammo. In this, you can only carry 2 shots, so they really make it super valuable to have, but you don't get to use it often at all.
Right, and so when you do find it, it's like, oh, cool, I'm going to use this because I don't want to pass up this, ammo on the ground. But yeah, it's neat. It was cool to use it. It would definitely go through anyone. See, I just picked up gas there. So I have 3 red bars, 2 are missing, so I could probably get, like, a tough guy, but not the toughest, because it's going to require 4 or 5 for one of the real strong guys.
Yeah, and another thing that maybe some people might complain about is the platforming. You do a lot of jumping
You
in
do,
this.
yeah.
And there's a couple moments where they took it a bit too far. Like there's this one bridge jump where the bridge is broken and you had to jump from one end to the other. And you died like, I don't even know, like
4 times, 5 times.
Yeah, and
it's
and
because
it was at the end of a checkpoint. So as soon as you got past that point, you were auto saved. But getting up to it, you had to do all this platforming before you even got to that moment.
Yeah,
and you died. And when you died, like you had to start all over again.
Yeah,
so we saw that level way too many times.
That's true. The problem with that one was like my brain saw like, okay, from a gamer perspective, like a coder or whatever, it's a flat surface, right, that you're standing on. But from a visual aspect, it was these like metal like bars and pipes that were bent. So like I didn't want to go to the very end because it didn't look like you could really stand on that. Like I didn't know where the platform ended and space began. So like I always did it just a little too early. And yeah, I died a few times on that. But it was cool. I just kind of had to get over that fear. And they do push it. There's lots of jumps where you're like, oh, dude, there's no way I can make that. Like, holy shit, I did it.
Yeah. Yeah, but this, I love this level. This looks amazing.
Yeah. No, this was definitely something that like I played up to just so that I could record. It was fantastic.
And you got a good mix of demons in this level. You got to see not everything, but a hefty portion of what the game has to offer.
Yeah.
As you go along, you get into those Mancubus and the Cyber Mancubus, like these gigantic fucking. Well, I guess you already saw one because you saw you ripped open one of their guts.
Yeah,
to
get
all the
but that wasn't the cyber one. And here's the big guy there. He's cool. Fucking loved him.
Oh, and another thing, like in Doom 3, there was, at least we only found one moment where you picked up a Berserk power-up.
Yeah.
In this game, they're everywhere. Unfortunately, they're kind of hidden, and just by pure awful luck, you would always find them after you took out everyone the hard way.
I think that was my fault, because like I was like, okay, this is working with me. I'm not going to run too far. I'm going to stay in this general area. And then once I killed everyone, then I went looking. This is an interesting bad guy. She's like a summoner. So you don't want to focus on anyone else but her when you see her. Because
otherwise she'll just keep spawning other minions.
Exactly. So I don't remember seeing anything like that in a previous Doom. But I never beat, Doom 1 and Doom 2. I never beat Doom 3 because I fucking died of boredom.
We almost got there.
Almost. Certainly not going to finish it now.
No.
And those skulls are better because they look like the ones that, we're familiar with. They don't look like Queen Borg, from Doom 3.
I'd love to know, like, why this game is so much better than Doom 3. Like, do you think that they sat gamers down as like a focus group and they said, like, tell us why Doom 3 sucks, essentially? Like, give us all your complaints and then we're gonna fix them now?
I don't know. Maybe it's as... Oh, I love that. Maybe it's as simple as, like, a real fan was involved. And before it was just, like, someone looking at it like a job. Because that's what it felt like. Like, we're just going to give them, this because that's what I think they want. Not being, like, a fan of the game themselves. I don't know. It's really hard to tell. But I'm sure people complained a lot. And hopefully they listened. And that's why this turned out to be so great.
Yeah, and they set it up at the end. I get spoiler alert, sort of, kind of. That it's, like, the story could... It sort of ends on a cliffhanger.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's like, we're gonna see another one, which is fucking great. I can't wait.
Yeah, hopefully it doesn't take as long. Pause between Doom 3 and Doom 4, or whatever you want to call this, the new Doom.
Yeah. I want to say this is a revamp, because certainly Doom 3 has nothing to do with this universe. This was like a reset button. You have a brand new beginning.
Yeah, your character isn't just a regular Marine. Like, they found his corpse in hell.
Yeah, exactly.
And then it was reanimated. They're like, you're the only one who can stop all this madness.
Yeah. And that, again, we don't need a story, but I thought that story was awesome. It was well fleshed out. It wasn't dumb or redundant. It was just the perfect mix. And he looks like the guy I remember.
Yeah. Those Caco demons or whatever the fuck they're called.
Yeah. So here's a lot of that platforming. If you don't notice, I
got
have
like a double jump.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. But you had to earn that though. You didn't get that right off the bat.
No.
You had to get some sort of rocket boots.
Everything I got, every weapon, they all have upgrades to them. So you're not seeing like what, a rookie Marine or whatever would have.
And eventually you even got through those rune challenges a better jump. So that like when you jumped in the air, you could kind of maneuver around before you did your next double jump or something.
Yep.
These are kind of interesting. You touch these and it's like you hear the devil's voice or whoever that is telling you some story. And you can just like walk away if you don't want to hear it.
Yeah. I was like, I wonder if it pisses him off, because if I go too far, he just shuts up. He realizes I'm not listening. Meanwhile, like, he's got an attitude in this game. Not the devil, but the main character here that you're playing. And it's fucking awesome. Like, that's totally his personality.
Yeah, it's just like when he finds those little upgrade droids, he beats the shit out of them.
Yeah, it's like, do you want to purchase this upgrade? And you're like, yeah. And then you just fucking beat the machine until it gives it to you.
And there's a moment later on when I think you were destroying cooling rods or something, and the guy who was talking to you, that robot voice, sounds like fucking Ultron.
Yeah.
He was telling you, okay, you got to be really careful. These are delicate pieces of equipment, and you just like kick the shit out of it.
And he's like, "Don't do that." Yeah, no, it was fucking awesome. And like they set that relationship up to be a perfect starting point for the next Doom. Like that, the storyline is going to be fantastic.
Oh, you know what wasn't in this game also? The Soul Cube. Remember we were talking about that in Doom 3?
Yeah, I didn't like the Soul Cube. I'm glad that's not here.
You have some sort of other weird relic from hell that you have to grab, but it's
a weapon though. Yeah. It's like it's used to destroy stuff, which makes sense.
And later on you see that it's like the hilt of some sort of electro sword.
Yeah. I got the collector's edition of this game, and it came with like a fucking, I don't know, what is that?
A Revenant.
14 inches tall statue.
Yeah.
And it's the skeleton guy I'm shooting right now, and he's standing on a platform, and there's red lights underneath it, and there's a fan that spins. He's very detailed, fucking glorious piece of art there. And then I got like a Doom shirt that I'm wearing right now. I got a Doom lanyard. I got a bunch of dumb, stupid Doom novelty crap.
Oh yeah, they fucking saw you coming a mile away.
Yeah.
Like, would you like a hardcover strategy guide book?
I'm like, yes. Hey, if it wasn't for people like me, we wouldn't have a Doom sequel to this. So you're welcome. Please donate, like and subscribe our videos.
You're always asking for donations, and no one's going to give them to us. This was great because we filmed this twice, or we played this twice, like you did. First time through, just to progress through the game, and then once you knew your way around this level. And it's like, okay, now we'll record the actual
and I wanted to make sure that it was a level that was going to be fucking awesome. I'm not just going to play some dumb piece of shit for our 2 listeners or watchers, fans that we got. I'm gonna make sure that it's like something good.
Right, but it was just funny because the first time, I mean, it wasn't a cakewalk, but you certainly did much better than this time. This time you came so close to death.
A few times, yeah.
I really thought you were gonna die.
I did too, actually. I pulled out my chainsaw earlier, and I was trying to use it, but I didn't have enough gas. Because these guys are fucking hardcore. But, oh, look at all that life. Gimme. No, I almost died a few times during that battle.
Yep.
That's what songs are going to be written about.
Oh, and you should give everyone the disclaimer that this is on...
Easy baby mode?
Yes.
Yeah, you know what? I'm not going to make that mistake and pick something hard and, like, so that way everyone thinks I'm a man.
Well, you know what? In my opinion, like, I mean, that's where we belong, is in easy baby mode. But other people should kind of sort of do that too. Like, when you see someone turn on a game for the very first time, they're like, let's crank it up to ultra nightmare difficult. It's like, why? Don't you want to kind of learn the controls first?
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? I'm going to play this again, and when I do, it's going to be on a harder difficulty, so...
Oh, yeah, because
you
you still have a lot to unlock.
Oh, yeah.
Lots of secrets and shit.
Lots of replay ability here.
But anyway, this is definitely recommended.
Oh, yeah. There's going to be a link if you see this on torturevision.com. There'll be a link underneath the video where you can buy it, and you can click on that so you can buy the right one and don't accidentally buy a piece of shit. Because you want the good one, and that's this.
Did you sell your soul to the devil? What is with you and the fucking plugs today? You turn into this big commercial whore. Holy fuck.
I'm just trying to help people out, man.
Yeah.
Hey, when you go into hell, you don't come out as the same man. I'm just gonna warn you. This game does horrible things to you.
Yeah. Go buy it now.